those lines. Let's start with Dr. Turtle, because we haven't heard from Dr. Turtle in a little while.
Yeah. So Dr. Turtle just kind of unfolds a little Afghan on their back, just kind of lets it hang, and is just like, floating just above a tree branch. They're used to sleeping in lots of places because of their galactic travel, so they conk out immediately, and they are a large snorer.
Wait, so you're not even in the tree? You're like on a branch?
Yeah, on a branch in the tree. Right?
Yeah, that can be a thing.
Well, it's a hollowed out tree. I think that's why Rose is confused.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just like outside the tree.
You guys are all walking up to the entrance of the tree, and Zori's showing the way very excitedly when Dr. Turtle just falls asleep.
Yep.
Do you sleep floating?
I do.
I love that.
Like a horse, if horses could float.
I remember from last time, we said this was a very cold night. And Zach remembers that Turtle is cold-blooded. So I'm actually going to grab Turtle and bring them inside, because I don't want them to actually freeze to death, because since they're so tired, they fell asleep outside.
That's very thoughtful.
I got the Afghan. But yes, thank you.
And I think we lost our fire as well. And I know last time Zach was like, I don't think Thorn really knows much about fire, but he's going to try to make a fire anyway. I think I'm just going to do like a roll and see if I can do it.
I think that makes sense.
My dice gets really excited and wants to go off. Ooh, 11. Is that a tough choice?
No, that's actually a success. 11 is the first number of success.
Oh, okay.
So basically, cool. You managed to accomplish that. Luckily, that is successful because you're setting up a fire inside of a tree.
Yeah, no, but I'm tapping into Thorn's knowledge of how to do things in the wild, and I'm like, I guess Thorn does know how to make fire. And yeah, I do it like right in the middle of this hollowed out tree, so it's not going to really catch fire, and it's going to go up through the hollow core, and it's not going to catch anything up top on fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, I start a fire and I wait for Talon to return.
I think toward like as you're finishing setting up the fires, you do hear the squawking of Talon as she soars down. You hear like kind of like an awkward scratching as she like nearly hits the side of the tree, but then just ends up scraping it with her talons on the outside. And then you see her land outside of the entrance and like waddle in on both talons, trying to be respectful, not fly around.
Hey girl, did you catch anything?
Go ahead and make a roll.
Ooh, 16.
All right, yeah, she drops she's a big bird, right? So she drops, okay, let's say she drops 2 bunny rabbits, 1 from each talon.
That's good. You did a good job. Come here. And I give her a little, like, scratch under her feathers or something like that.
You could swear she purrs, even though birds don't purr. She lets out like a little, All right, what about Zuri and Gray?
Well, Gray's having some trouble finding a comfortable position in this hollowed out tree. You see him lie down on his side on the ground, well, on the floor of the space, and he just kind of fidgets and moves around. In desperation, he tries to fall asleep the way that he normally would, so he places his palm out in front of him. He uses a magic trick to produce some light blue light coming out from the palm of his hand as he lies on his side, but it's not quite the same as being on social media on your phone as you fall asleep. So he's having trouble. He sits up He remembers a little bit more about what he can do, and he figures that, well, at least if I can't get some good sleep, like, why can't everybody else, you know? And I'd like to use Ren's delightful dream on all other members of the group.
Can you hold on to that for just a minute longer, and then when everybody falls asleep, you can use that?
Sure. It won't actually happen until they fall asleep. Like, it's hey, the next time you do fall asleep, this will
Never
happen.
mind. Talk about it.
So it's the next time that the target falls asleep, they experience a deeply comforting dream. They wake up feeling beloved and forget all of their grudges for the next week.
That is so pure.
Right? I saw that in there. I was like, I don't know when I'm ever going to use this, but how can I not? How can I not take this?
Dr. Turtle, what does Dr. Turtle immediately starts dreaming? What do you dream of?
I guess just floating on those galactic waves, my dude. Just surfing through the stars with Dad Turtle and all of the rest of the turtle group.
You dream of your pod?
Yeah.
Aw. And all right, lastly, but certainly not least, let's jump over to Zuri.
So Zuri's kind of like, she's trying to be all cool about things, that she's like not affected by this, but she's kind of sad that she found this like hollowed out space, and she was really excited because she's never had a sleepover before. Her parents are pretty strict, so she got super excited even though they're in this different world. She's kind of scared. She's kind of like freaked out, but she doesn't want to admit it. So she's kind of like, she was hoping to have this time for like all four of them to be like kind of huddled together in this like little hollowed out branch, and she was so excited. And then she just like looks around and sees what like the other guys are doing, and she's like, okay. Like she's just like, okay, they're not on the same page. And so she's a little sad about it. And then she like can't help but be like, oh, but if Maya was here, she'd be here with me in this like little hollowed out tree. And she's like thinking about this, and she's getting a little sad, but she like shakes it off, and she's like, no, it's okay, I'll find her, so it's okay. Doesn't matter, I'll find her. And then she like, you know, is wearing like all this armor, and she like looks down and she's like, wait a minute. She's like, wait, I'm supposed to go to sleep in this? She like murmurs a little bit under her breath, and she's like really uncomfortable, but she's like trying to take it off, but she can't figure out how to take it off.
So sweet.
She's like, she's like, what am I gonna do? Like, she doesn't even have like a nightgown or something that she can slip into. So she like tugs at that a little bit. She like sighs pretty heavily, and then she just kind of like uncomfortably settles somewhere in the like hollowed out tree, like in the corner. And she just looks up, and then she looks around, and she like starts wishing that she had someone like Talon too to like keep her company. And then she starts drifting off to sleep. And when she finally falls asleep, she actually dreams of her little brother who likes to play with like tea sets, and they would have like little tea parties together. So she has a dream where they're like sitting around a little table, having a tea party, and Maya is there, and there's a little daffodil or dandelion in the middle of the table.
And that's where we're going to end our episode. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode of A Game Called Quest. A Game Called Quest is an actual play audio drama podcast of the tabletop role-playing game Quest by T.C. Sodic. It's a collaborative role-playing storytelling experience where we work together to create a fun and nerdy time that we then share with all of you. This is made possible by the four amazing artists, Sue, Manny, Brett, and Ben, my amazing co-editor Sean, and myself as the producer and game master. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please leave us an iTunes review or tweet about us. Thanks so much for adventuring with us. We'll see you next time on A Game Called Quest.